pay off unless if you have these very, very tanky cores like a Bristleback who can really take advantage of having a second life. So the lane, I think, has potential, especially against a Phantom Assassin. A Phantom Assassin can definitely get bullied by that. I think the most important thing is to have a hero that can kind of get out of shards, because if you get cornered in shards, then like you're screwed even without tag team, because Weaver with Takuchi is just like always going to be on top of you. But if you have something like Blink Strike, or I've seen PL with Doppelganger be a choice, but you need some core that can manage to get out of Ice Shard. So Phantom Assassin's an adequate response, but still the tag team plus Geminate is still very, very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it's going to hurt this PA. And another person who's going to hurt this PA is this Void Spirit. Before PA hits BKB, this guy's going to be a huge problem for the Phantom Assassin, just dealing a ton of magical damage, which PA just can't avoid. You know, it's one of the best things to do against PA, is just pick up some early game damage and then pick up some early game push and just pressure her out of the game. I think this hero is quite slow.
Yeah, and with Jakiro, it kind of justifies the pick, a support that can kind of push, but now I'm assuming that they're going to be looking for a safe lane carry that can also push, as Void Spirit is most typically being played in the mid lane, which they don't know the mid lane matchup yet, but Weaver and Void Spirit seem to both be not safe lane carries, not that I've seen at least, and so we'll see what KSK want to round it out with. And Yolo Knight now know the mid lane matchup.
Radiant team banned.
So they'll go for a Storm Spirit.
Alrighty, that's going to be... I mean, the thing to me right now, it's like these guys... This is a slow lineup from Yolo Knight. Like, this Storm versus Void Spirit matchup is pretty much... I mean, Storm can win it really hard. But most of the times I've seen it, it's been a pretty even matchup. And then when the Void Spirit comes online, it's much earlier when the Storm Spirit's online. And the Void tends to do a lot more work around the map than the Storm Spirit does. And later on as well, you can catch him out with a Remnant. When you get the Ags on Void Spirit now as well, that's a real problem for the Storm Spirit. That's something he really struggles to avoid, just the AoE silence coming out. It's really hard for the Storm to play into, so I'm a little bit worried about this Storm Spirit pick. And in general, like Yolo Knight's draft, it seems that they need a lot from this fifth pick of theirs to basically just carry this lineup through the finish line. And they also don't have that great push until PA comes online with like Deso and stuff, so...
Yeah, I'd agree with all of that assessment.
Well, thank you.
This is the kind of draft that's like, we know we're the better team, and you're going to make a mistake at some point, or we don't think that you can end the game quickly enough before our heroes can come online, which is not a outlandish thing to be able to claim. I do think that Yolo Knight, mechanically speaking, so the mids are Copy on KSK, and then Yolo Knights are Mio. Oh man, Mio, okay. So I had actually been disappointed with Mio on multiple occasions. His Queen of Pain specifically is what really, really rubbed me the wrong way, because he is like the least mobile mid laner that I've seen in a very long time. Like, he will not leave the mid lane or the jungle until he is like good and ready. It doesn't matter like what kind of runes he'll get. It doesn't matter how deep the enemy is committing. He will just kind of chill and do his own thing.
Sounds like a prime Storm Spirit player to me.
Exactly. And so I think he can get away with it this game, because Void Spirit, I do agree, can come online much sooner than a Storm Spirit. But if Storm Spirit's not going to be trying to like counter gank whenever Void Spirit rotates, then, you know, who really cares? So I do think that this is the kind of draft that they're like, yeah, we're just going to wait until you mess up. And then as soon as you do mess up, then things are going to start snowballing out of control very, very quickly. So looking for a offlaner, I would guess. Offlane, they don't really need initiation too much. I think Pango and Storm can kind of fulfill that. So I think they just need someone who can tank up and get a bunch of auras, which is why I like the Underlord ban. Timbersaw is banned. Don't know who you're safe laning against.
Radiant team picked.
So, whoa.
Oh.
Okay, so 3-position Pango, I guess.
Yep. Offlane Pangolier is going to be the call. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. I think it's if they choose to put the Weaver in the safe lane, then the Pangolier should do pretty well against that Weaver. But I imagine it is going to be Weaver off lane still.
I guess they needed a hero that could kind of push back waves, or at least
5
draw
seconds
aggro off towers. Otherwise, none of the other heroes are going to do it. Storm Spirit, like I said, Mio's just going to be jungling most of the time. Phantom Assassin can't fulfill that. Lich has pretty garbage wave clear, although Frost Shield is nice for towers. And Pango, he can only keep one lane under control at a time. So Coddle is banned. Rubik, I suppose, is one of the second most popular wave clearing supports. So I can understand it. And there's always good spells to steal whenever a Jakiro and a Weaver are on the field. So I'm on board.
Yeah, no, Rubik, there's plenty for him to steal this game, that's for sure. Ice Path and Kuchi, fantastic spells for this Rubik. KSK taking their time over this final pick here. I would guess that taking a carry could be taking an offlaner. Depends what they want to complete out their draft. I'm kind of worried they're going to be baited into an AM pick here just because there's a Storm Spirit in the game, but they're going to go for the Slark instead. No, that's good. That's good. The Leash is going to be really useful versus the PA and the Storm Spirit. He can build a Diffusal, which is going to help out a lot against that Storm as well, and possibly a Pangolier. Only thing I do worry about a little bit is the fact that this Pangolier can really cause Slark some issues, especially if Slark wants to jump in on someone and pop the ultimate to try and finish the job to start off a fight, and these disarms can cause some real issues for him. So we'll see if Pangolier is able to put a thorn in his side as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think on paper, I do prefer Killsteel Commando's draft, but I mean, you got to respect that Yolo are the better team. They do have Misery in their team as well, who's going to be playing this Rubik as well, so I'm kind of expecting some big things from Misery here.
I wonder if he specifically saved his hero for, well, Mio specifically saved Misery's heroes for the end, because Rubik is kind of like a Misery. It's difficult to say signature because there are so many Rubik signature support players, but Misery is definitely very, very familiar with the hero and has had some exceptional performances on it. So it's rare that you'd see a support hero picked as the 20th or 21st pick. So I wonder if they were kind of showing some deference to Misery and being like, sure, yeah, we'll give you your hero last. And hopefully he can make a big performance on it. I do think that it's a pretty good Slark game, but it's not I mean, Yolo Knight can very easily deal with it. Even if Slark manages to complete a Silver Edge to deal with Phantom Assassin's evasion and just break it, I still think that Yolo Knight have what it takes. If it was an even teams, I would favor Killsteel Commando, but I don't think that they're going to be able to end the game fast enough before Smiling Knight and Mio come online.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think, it just comes down to the skill difference between the two teams. But, KSK, if they want an opportunity to choose themselves, this would definitely be the kind of game where you're expecting it. I mean, they can snowball really heavily with this Void Spirit and Slark. And I don't even go as far as to say they need to. That's basically a game plan, to snowball heavily with this Slark and this Weaver and this Void, just the three heroes. They're very, very strong throughout this mid-game. When you've got this Diffusal, maybe you need a BKB as well, but definitely when you've got the Diffusal, you can go and you can do some real damage to Yolo Knight here if they haven't fallen too far behind at that stage. So we'll see how this one... Where are we? We have just spawned in the upside down, it looks like. This is... Oh, interesting. Anyway, back to the middle of the map. I genuinely do not know where we started out on that camera. That was a bit of an adventure. Yeah, let's get into this one. I've got a question for you, Tsunami.
Okay.
What do you think... Do you have any predictions for the two heroes which should be released this summer? And are they going to be released this summer?
It's a good question.
Usually we get these two heroes coming around TI time. Now, TI, they said it won't be happening until 2021 at this rate. And we usually get a couple of heroes. Will they be coming in the summer? Is that going to happen? Or are we going to be left waiting until 2021 for new heroes?
Because for the Grimstroke and the Mars release, they released Grimstroke like during TI. And then Mars came during January. That's the kind of release schedule that I would anticipate for this year.
Wasn't it Void and Grim during TI and then Mars later, or was Void with someone else?
They've never done two at TI. And Void Spirit also came
what about
later.
Pango and Willow? Was that at the same... That was definitely at the same time, I think. Because they released like a whole little patch. Yeah.
Yeah, but that one was not at TI specifically. That one was... I think they had the trailers.
Oh yeah, it was Snapfire and Void Spirit. That was it this year round. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, low skill coming in, saying a line to 5 up, and that's going to be the bounty rune going towards a Pangolier. So he's got the quicker fingers, or has the better tick rate with those. Do you use auto right click to grab bounties?
I don't, but they nerfed it. It used to be like a way higher APM, and now like if you click, you can out click auto right click these days. But whenever it was first released, it was like unbeatable. It was like having the turbo mode on the controllers.
Like a friend of mine had the burst fire button on his mouse, you know,
Yeah.
like made for FPSs. He used to use that all the time for getting bounties, and he'd be just like,
Dude, that's a strat for whenever you had the dualies in Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
They didn't have a cap on their like fire limit, so you could just spam them like crazy.
oh,
But
what
they're
we
also-
used to do is we used to set our mouse wheel speed to super high, and then use your
yeah.
mouse wheel to fire. That was so funny. Your accuracy would be garbage because trying to fire with a mouse wheel, desperately scrolling with one finger was awful. But you essentially had a
sounded
machine gun.
hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Solo and Master Risk getting busy with one another over in the jungle here. Solo actually getting a pretty little low, but you know, it's only a lich. It's only level 1. There's no kill potential here at all, so he's going to keep his distance as the Weaver continues to play with the PA. But this should be a pretty straightforward lane. I imagine Zero will get a little bit of advantage over the PA. It sounds like an okay lane, but once those crits come online, the Weaver's got to fear for his life. Meanwhile, down at bottom, 5 up, just going to have to run himself away from low skill and Fulmini. And Misery, baiting perfectly the pounce there. They are angry about this Rubik's existence here, setting him on fire and trying to chase him down here, but Misery's just taking a little bit of a run. Can't really trade super well with the dragon though.
Jakiro rolling out of the base with triple mangoes, so I imagine that he's just going to keep on spamming this against Misery. But Rubik rolled out of the base with boots as well, so you can't keep him under control that long, as he has burned out of all of his regen, but I think he's willing to trade regen to make sure that the Slark stays very, very harassed the entire time.
Yep.
Top lane, they're actually going in on Solar.
They are indeed. They're trying to bring down this Tusk here, and they're actually going to be able to do so. The right click comes in from Master Risk, and that finishes the job. Zero cannot do much about that one, I'm afraid. So that's going to be your first blood going the way of Yolo Knight, so he'll just run down this poor old Tusk. Just getting a little bit too late, hanging around a little bit too long, and paying the ultimate price in the end. Meanwhile, over towards the mid lane, we got Mio versus Copy here, playing up against each other, and yeah, I mean, it's even right now.
Yeah, in the first like 5 minutes, pure mechanical skill that'll determine if it's even
Master
or not.
Risk, they're getting their revenge up here in the top lane. Do they have the damage to bring him down though? With that Frost Shield, it's doing him a bit, but not quite enough. They will get the kill onto the Lich, so they find some kind of return in the end. KSK get themselves back on the board, making it 1-for-1 on the scoreline. Meanwhile, Swan Knight, oh, careful with that courier, buddy. Zero, nearly found it, but not quite.
After that kill, they didn't figure out that Dire had put up a sentry here, so whenever Tusk returned back from the base, he only brought a mango for the Weaver. I don't know if the Weaver knows yet that there's a sentry here, but that could come back to bite them.
Could indeedy. So, what do you think about a fifth spirit to make the meme a dream?
Nah,
The
they
meme
can't
dream
go
reality. They
back to
can't do
back
it.
like that. They,
True,
like,
true,
You
that.
need at least like a 4-year gap before another spirit comes out. So I think for the most part they've been doing like a very good job of rounding out like offlaners or carries or supports. I feel like every single time a new hero is introduced, everyone immediately tries to figure out how to play it either as a one position or as a
In the
four
mid.
position. Yeah, or in the mid. And so like no one ever like sees a new carry or new hero and they're like, oh man, this will make a great support. Master Risk also makes a great support, but he will die.
Oh, up in the top lane. Oh, I didn't know where you were going with that. I was like, Master Risk. I was like, what about him? And I was like, oh, right. It was a camera prompt. My bad. This Pango's 25, by the way. This guy plays a lot of Pangolier. I found that there's a couple of heroes which people seem to grow weirdly attached to. I think Phoenix and Pangolier are two of the biggest ones. Like, not like Smurfy heroes, which can just, like, brood spammers and stuff. Literally just heroes which have no real, like, huge overwhelming power to them, but people just tend to spam out like crazy. Like there's that Looky guy, right? The American dude. Or is it just Looky?
No, it's Looky. Pango's like honestly like a strong testament to hero design, because I've heard many, like Ice considers Pango to be his favorite hero. He said that very recently on stream, which for a veteran player like him, that's super impressive that they can design a hero this like late into the cycle, which has like non-traditional Dota mechanics like vector targeting, and still it becomes like a favorite hero of veterans. And he's a very fun hero, and so I think that any new hero that they introduce is going to go more gameplay based as opposed to design based, as Looks like it's going to be a trade, and Smiling Knight
He's running, but Zero is on top of him, getting a lot of evasions here on the side of PA. They might be able to bring him down here, though. They've got the shards coming out through him. They need a little bit more, but we'll finally finish the job there with the Takuchi. But my god, that PA dodged a hell of a lot of hits there. They're only level 1 in evasion, so 20%, but not feeling like it this time around. But all the same, Killsteal Kommando will be able to grab themselves 2 kills up here in the top lane. It's a very profitable trade for them, actually, for that bounty rune.
Yeah, whenever they got first blood, I was just like, this is not the kind of momentum that's going to last. This Tusk Weaver lane, it doesn't really matter how far behind they fall. As long as they manage to get their levels, they can trade all the net worth in the world for the regen, and it's so difficult to deal with. And we're not even really seeing like the full power of the tag team in the lane. It's just the mobility of the ice shards and the snowball. As Solar runs into Mio, he's going to try to protect the
doesn't have many spells. All he's got is a snowball to throw down. Will do so, but now Misery's coming on over as well. He's got the Fade Bot, he's got the lift, but doesn't need the lift. Just does it the old-fashioned way with a couple of right clicks and a Fade Bot. Meanwhile, Flimney trying to get the damage out onto Mio, and Copy actually jumping forwards onto this one. Misery does have that lift, but doesn't last long enough, but they might get the return kill onto Copy here. Misery trying to chase him down. He's got the Fade Bot in 1 second, but the Invis rune popped by the Void Spirit keeps him alive, and now he looks forwards onto the Rubik and will take him down instantly. Misery gets duked in the middle lane, and they'll grab themselves a couple of kills. Killsteal Kommando making the action happen for themselves right now in the middle and the top lane. Beautiful.
That was actually Jakiro's self that he used on Copy, so he's already back to full as well with the bottle regen from that Invis rune. So very, very good sequence events by Copy. Getting the upper hand on Neo there. Which again, like even though both these heroes are level 6, I imagine they're just going to keep brawling in the mid lane. I don't really anticipate. Void Spirit may go somewhere else, but Storm's not going anywhere.
Without guessing, without looking, guess how much swashbuckle damage this guy has on Pangolier. Just give me a ballpark figure. I mean, it's a pretty wild guess to make. If you get anywhere near like the nearest percentile, I'll give you a big commendation.
What do you mean by the question? Like, what do you mean? What?
So he's got a gem which says how much swashbuckle damage he's done
like,
over his lifetime as Pangolier. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 6 figures.
6 figures?
Yeah.
Okay, the correct answer is 9.5 million swashbuckle damage. This guy's playing a lot of Pangolier. I told you people like to spam this dude. That is a lot of swashbuckle damage.
9.5 million. That's insane.
Yeah, some other interesting gems here as well. 3,500 hero kills with swashbuckle. Nearly 8,000 hero kills with lucky shot. I mean, this guy plays Pango. This guy certainly plays Pango.
Storm Spirit.
Oh, can they get away? Though he can. The leash ends, and the Storm is able to get himself out. Misery waiting in the sidelines, ready to help out if needs be. And also grab a couple of creeps from this middle lane as well. Don't mind if I do, he says.
This is a very strange rotation for a Slark to be making at this stage of the game.
It is rather, isn't it?
Almost works out as Jakiro. Like they just straight up abandoned the bot lane because Jakiro was also going there. I guess it doesn't really take too much time off of low skills plate as just a quick attempt. He didn't even bother TPing for either of those. He's just got the Shadow Dance move speed. Possibly just showing respect to Mio's Storm Spirit that even the safe lane carry before completing a single item as a Slark just straight up rolls into the mid lane. And KSK Copy.
Did he have max sleep in? He's only got 2 points in the leash as well. Like if he'd gotten somehow, for some reason, more points in Pounce, then maybe I could have seen that working. But he might have only had 1 at the time. So yeah, very interesting stuff. As 5 up, throwing a couple of Rolling Thunders down, just trying to psych out low skill a little bit here.
Does he have his Javelin? Yeah, Javelin's coming on the courier, so laning becomes a little bit harder for a Slark, but Slark is one of the heroes that should be able to deal with it against a Pango because of just the inherent regen. And now combat over outposts. Masterus manages to dodge momentarily.
Yeah, but they're on top of him all the same here. And with the tag team, it's not going to make him much feel like the Frost Shield doing much. And now Solar, he's just getting critted down by Smiling Knight. 5-up's going to help him out with that Rolling Thunder there, and they'll give the kill to the Smiling Knight as well. And that's going to be Solar straight up trading for that kill. I don't really think that's worth it so much, but Zero does come in and take the outpost, but they'll just take it right the way back again. So they might not even get an outpost here because they... Oh yeah, they control the bottom one. Never mind. They're all good. I'm just baiting. It's fine.
And Jakiro's contesting for this rune. We'll see if Misery can stop him. Ice Path.
Yeah, doesn't manage to get the toss away though, and Flimley will be able to take that bounty rune and also set Misery on fire in the process, so puts himself back to the other side of the map. And all is well for the Jakiro. Misery unable to pick up that bounty. It's a bit unfortunate that he didn't get the get the lift away from telekinesis, but to be honest, that spell's pretty garbage. Probably didn't help him. Needed a bit more.
Honestly, managing to click the lift, at least with level 1 telekinesis, is like super difficult if you don't have quick cast on. Because like by the time the guy's already in the air, it's like you have 0.2 seconds it feels before it throws him back down. They're doing a good job of moving around the map. It's just that the issue will be, can they actually take towers while they're moving around the map? And so it's great that the Slark is feeling this active. They're contesting bounty runes, they're contesting outposts, but I don't really know who's going to be responsible for actually taking structures, as all the tier 1 towers are still very, very healthy. Jakiro is going to be maxing out Ice Path as they actually go on Mio in the mid lane. This is why they're maxing Ice Path.
Yeah, they're trying to bring him down here, but the Void Spirit's going to be able to jump off to the other side, but Mio's still chasing. He's looking for the response here, and the Ice Blast coming on across to copy as well. It's going to bounce back. It's not, but it doesn't need to. They got the damage anyway. Meanwhile, the situation will be diffused in the bottom lane. Master Risk, he's being roasted a little bit by Philomeny here, but it doesn't really matter. The Void Spirit's dead, and they got what they came for, Yolo Knight, and they might not be done. No, they're done. They're done. You don't get this Jakiro right now. He's a bit of a tanky support.
I feel like Lich just used... Was that... Yeah, Lich used triple mango on the Storm Spirit. He's like, yeah, go, man, go. You can get another kill. Let's do it. Instead, yeah, Jakiro is like a relatively tanky support, so wisely Mio is content with his Void Spirit kill. Jesus, and Master Risk uses a clarity on Mio. This is all for the king.
Yeah,
and
I guess
hopefully
so.
Mio does something with it.
You mean hit neutrals? Because that's what he's gonna do. No, we'll see.
I mean, mana's mana.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ugh, dumping mana into Mud Golems and Storm never feels that nice, but you don't really have a choice. Just gotta get him, rip the band-aid off, get him down with. Yeah, a lot of regen being used up by the Storm though right now. An interesting game. I mean, I guess we can look towards the timings here. We're looking for that Slark to get that Diffusal. I think they're going to be really strong on Killsteal Kommando when the Slark finishes off the Diffusal. And they're going to be at a bit of a peak because the Storm's, the Void Spirit, he actually... I was going to say he doesn't need any items, and really, like, he doesn't. He's just going straight in for the Aghanims, and, you know, it's going to be good this game, for sure. So I like this decision a lot. We'll see if he regrets it not going for the Yules after all. I feel like it's a pretty decent item, but we'll see. Oh, wow, double Diffusal as well, as the Weaver's got it queued up also.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of hoping to rely on like Ice Path as their primary stun, because I'm with you. Not having a guaranteed setup, it's going to be kind of difficult to keep this Storm Spirit under control, because
Radiant are scanning.
like Pango can roll in and disrupt a lot of like this very, very delicate chain disable combination, which seems to be very, very reliant on skill shots. It's a long leap, not actually fully committed to the bot lane. Mio is just trying to take advantage of that ball lightning, and both teams gonna trade as Misery's scared for dear life.
He's been in this tree for so long. He really has.
I wonder if he's gonna try to steal something. But
Nah, he's eating, dude. He's got dinner time. He's just like, all right, guys. I'm gonna go XP at top. I'm gonna get the sandwich, and I'll be back in a minute.
He could cut the wave. He's got Dark Pact and 3 points in Fate Bolt, so if he emerges in like the next 10 seconds, is now mid lane.
Yeah, they're trying to play around here, but the Storm Spirit's actually losing a lot of his life. Pounced up, needs to get away, does get the ball lightning off in the end, but Master Risk won't be so lucky. He gets cut down by the double damage Void Spirit and that Slark with a bunch of stacks going on him as well. And finally, Misery finishes that sandwich and gets to work up in the top lane, clearing out these creeps. Yolo Knight, they're sitting behind here, but they're actually under Observer, so they're going to know what's going on. Solar wisely backing himself out. Oh, blimey, we didn't have net worth up yet. My bad, guys. 14 minutes. Yeah, I didn't have net worth up. That's some...
You're really dropping the ball about.
I did. That made a lot of people very angry. I've disappointed myself, but mostly I've disappointed my family.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, they're managing to push. They take the top tier 1. Zero doing a little bit of damage to top tier 2. Not gonna... Oh. Mio.
Yeah, he can't keep up with him. He's just ball lightning. Finally gets on top of this Weaver and kills him. Doesn't manage to get off the time lapse in time. Mio does the damage. Who knew? That was Yeah, I mean that's a Kaya for you, I guess. Giving you the extra mana, coming in from base as well, gives him the mana he needs to chase down that Weaver and grab that kill. Very nicely done from Mia.
Yeah, and it was right at the bounty rune timing. Although Mio may have gotten a little too big for his britches here.
Yeah, maybe does get punished by the Slark and Tusk. This is the power of these guys. You know, they've got the punch, they've got the snowball, they've got the pounce. These are the spells which you need to lock down this storm long enough to kill him, and they do exactly that. And along with the fresh diffusal as well. Nice. Exactly what the Slark wants, really.
Yeah, I guess now he's gonna have to be making space for the Weaver because the Weaver does not have his diffusal completed yet, and Copy is still not too far, like 1.5k gold away from his Aghanim Scepter, so he's making relatively good progress. Just, again, the structures. You need to be able to take towers. It's great. Great to have all the crowd control in the world, all the mana burning in the world, but Yolo Knight don't really need to force fights. Yolo Knight can just sit behind their towers all the time. Like, honestly, Mio's playing like way more aggressively than he needs to, but if he can get kills like this on Jakiro, why not?
Yeah, and he's the complete opposite of what I was expecting after your analysis, but they're jumping forward onto the Lich right now. Lich is going to get out of the Chain Frost just before he dies. He's going to do a decent amount of work, but not really enough to cause any kind of turnaround here. As I get both Master Risk and Misery brought down, the two supports on the side of Yolo Knight do lose their lives. But now the cores turn up, they're going to be a little bit more cautious on the side of KSK. Interesting, this Force Staff on the Panga. I mean, I guess that's because you're playing against the Slark, right? Like, you want to get people out.
I think that's pretty much the only reason, because otherwise, like again, if they're not building a Yules on the Void Spirit, then like their longest lasting disable is going to be very, very easy to force stuff out of. You can leash, get people out of Ice Path. Overall, I'm a big fan of 5-Up's decision to go for it.
Yeah, sure. And Pango's definitely one of these heroes where you're never like, oh, I feel like I should have gone for a Hood, or I should have gone Vanguard. You know, this guy's tanky as hell. He's got Shield Crash, he's got Rolling Thunder for the Magic community. Like, this guy doesn't need items. You can greed out as much as you like on this dude and go for something crazy. I think I don't see enough Pangoliers actually mixing up their builds too much.
Yeah, they pretty much like I'm impressed by his decision to hold off from completing the full Maelstrom also, because so many offlane Pangos are like, yeah, but I want to farm also. Like, the Javelin's a good enough damage item that you don't need the full Maelstrom. Yes, you can farm much faster, but like in team fight situations, Maelstrom's damage is like not dramatically better.
Yeah, and you're sitting in a draft with a PA and a Storm. Like, there's enough neutral creeps being taken by everybody else, and waves as well as they jump forwards here. And this is one scary old bull. It's now caught with the Frost Shield and with the Rolling Thunder, and the Force Staff across onto the Weaver to get the stun up onto him, but it's not enough to save Misery. A very cute play, but ultimately doesn't get a whole lot done. Solo's like, hey, look, guys, I caught Master Risk here, but they don't really have the follow up, so Solo's gonna have to get himself back. And these annoying illusions as well. These guys can proc Lucky Shot, by the way, so that's super annoying to deal with. So Solo's just going to get rid of them. Meanwhile, they jump in, they get the proc, they get the dagger across onto Solo here. He's alright for the time being, though. Yolo Knight keeping a tight line, not overextending, but also not really getting themselves many kills either. So it's just going to be a neutral trade in the middle lane. Everyone hanging out, having fun. Ice Path forward onto the Pangolier. Doesn't have that Rolling Thunder. Does have the Force Stuff, though. He wants to get himself back, but he has actually got the Frost Shield on him, and now forcing away, actually putting the Tusk out of position and dragging him back under the tower by Misery here. Solar, he's turning it around. Might be able to kill off Master Risk. Meanwhile, under the tower, they will get him down. Doesn't even kind of come round in the side, but in comes a PA. There's a big damage. 5-Up does drop, but they'll get a return kill into the Void Spirit almost immediately. And now they look across over towards the Jakiro. Jakiro critted up. Double crit. Taken on down here. And that is one dead-ass dragon. They'll be able to grab themselves 3 kills on the side of Yolo Knight and find the fight they've been looking for here in the middle lane. That Desolator picked up just in time by Spiling Knight, and that is one hell of a reveal on this guy. And we're not done. Slark, this is not a place you want to be. The Snowball's going to connect from Misery, actually. The stolen Snowball comes in from the side, and that's going to give them what they need to bring down this Slark and make this an even better fight. That's the cherry on the cake, and I mean, that's a huge cherry. That's like when you have a cake, and the cherry on top of it's almost the size of the cake. Delicious.
Another cake?
The cake on the cake.
Yeah, that's like a devastating Slark death, actually, because that is not at all. Like, was he counter warding or something? I'm not even sure what he was looking for. I'm pretty sure he was trying to counter ward.
I know my Slark players. This guy was like, hey, you know what? I'm sure I can catch someone on the tree. I'm sure there's going to be like a lowly support walking past so I can just kill off and then jump down a cliff and nah.
Based on the context of this observer ward having one attack on it, I think Slark was trying to get rid of it. And
I do him a great disservice, my bad.
Against this team, like there's no way you should feel safe doing that. Mio's got a clumsy net on the Storm Spirit, so that's a lot of crowd control. Rubik has plenty of stuff in terms of gap closing that he can steal. He can steal the Astral Step, he has the Snowball currently stolen, he can steal Shikuchi, he can steal Leap or Pounce. Like, you should never feel safe if you're in Vision as a Slark. So if your shot against passive's lost, then you need to be very, very quick on the fingers of Dark Pegs. So a lot of combat in the mid lane ultimately ends up profiting Yolo Knight because I anticipate that they'll be able to take it to the late game much easier. It's only a minor net worth advantage, though. Mark is still #1 net worth.
The Slark actually took all that time to come back and get the D-Ward anyway, so this guy was mad. He was upset about that. He will get his D-Ward eventually. Meanwhile, Flimney, he's having lightning problems in the middle lane as the Storm's going to jump him down. The Frost Shield gets a kill on the end. Nicely done by Yolo Knight just to take that little freebie in the middle lane and maybe put some pressure on the tower whilst they're at it. Tier 1 towers still up for both teams here, actually, surprisingly. Maybe not for long, though.
Online for the Storm Spirit, so you can't really feel too good about giving away these kills even as a support now. So everyone needs to be very, very careful as another leap.
Yeah, he's looking deep for it, Mio here. What happens if you can you use Clumsy Net and then dodge it with Ball Lightning on Storm Spirit?
The projectile's too slow that generally you're gonna, and you can cast it, but you can't dodge it, I don't believe.
Oh, okay.
Like, you'll come out of the Ball Lightning rooted, I think.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I don't know how Ball Lightning works with items and stuff. It's like Omni Slash, you can probably use in fact, you can use Clumsy Net inside Omni Slash, I know that to be sure.
Yeah. But like, if you do it at the end of Omni Slash, I think it'll still root you at the end. But it's a good question. I'll keep my eye on it.
Yeah, so it's not an item we usually see on the Storm. Usually there's much better ones, and I thought there was an Arcane Ring in this game, but maybe I am mistaken.
There was. Storm Spirit was holding on to it.
Damn, I'm really surprised he didn't grab the Arcane Ring. That's he's not holding on to it still, sorry, because that is such a good item on Storm. 10 intelligence and 3 armor, like, my god.
If no one is holding it, then like, I'm surprised that he wouldn't just backpack it and just like pop it for the mana, if nothing else, during some downtime. They're gonna smoke up. Oh, Slark.
Yeah, this is a big target, and then jumping onto immediately like Slark. He is just gonna get absolutely squished. A beautiful kill here. And I mean, this Slark has been caught out a little bit too many times for me. I mean, he's got a decent amount of farm, but he just keeps on dying in weird places. It's not ideal. Gonna be feeling a little bit frustrated if you're KSK right now.
His movement is what I'm expecting the Weaver to be doing, because the Weaver is the one that's kind of the sacrificial lamb in most of these circumstances, because he is the safest, so to speak. I mean, a Weaver would have died there just as quickly as Slark would have, but at the same time, Weaver's the 3 position. It's not as big of a loss if Weaver goes down. KSK are actually going to smoke up without having their Slark. I'm surprised that Yolo Knight are respecting this.
Yeah, I mean they got so much poke into this pit. It's actually ridiculous. Like they had ice shards, they've got ice path, they've got dual breath, they've got remnant, and Void Spirit's just picked up his axe as well. So they're actually really scary timing now in KSK. Still behind, but when the Slark comes back, they're going to be definitely in fighting shape.
I guess Yolo Knight don't really need to be too concerned about KSK taking it themselves. They are not good at taking it. Tusk does have a medallion, but still, I don't think the diffusal blades of this... Oh man, they're baiting this rune? No, Mio picks it up. I don't really
expect a Storm to ignore an Arcane Rune for more than a couple of seconds.
Oh, film A, not like this.
Yeah, this is a dragon going down pretty quickly here. Not much chance of survival. Might be able to get one spell off, but no, he's going to get finished off by Master Risk. Maybe this will be the rush fight they want. I mean, with the Jakiro dead, it's actually pretty good timing for them. That guy does supply them most of their long-range poke damage and disable. And up in the top lane, they're looking for Zero, but he's out of there.
Oh man, they pinged out the ward. I think the only reason Jakiro would move is if he saw the Storm Spirit leaping. They will successfully scan it, but with Jakiro dead, I don't think that they'll do anything. So Mio gonna catch himself a 25-minute Aegis.
Feeling good, for sure.
Long lead.
Yeah, jumping on top of the Void Spirit here, going all the way past him. Net comes out as well, and meanwhile Smiling Knight, he gets stuck on the cliff, but he's got the Phantom Strike to get himself back down again, so all is well in the life of PA, and all is well in the life of everyone on Yolo Knight, to be honest. They've got this game firmly in hand, 4k gold advantage, they're feeling good, Aegis on the Storm, things coming their way. They managed to survive the timing of the Slug, Diffusal, Sanjin Yash, which I thought would be pretty scary for them, but honestly, KSK just haven't really got much done, or really attempted to do that much, to be honest with you, so they get past that timing, and now Yolo Knight looking for a very, very brutal game coming up soon. But they might have found themselves a Pangolier on the backlines, but in comes a Chain Frost. They're going to pop the ultimate on the Slark, and just in time as Mio comes zipping in from the sidelines here. Low skill. He thinks about the Storm, but then remembers he has Aegis. But meanwhile, on the front lines of the fight, they've got the Weaver locked down, dead to rights. They've got the damage to kill him off, and that's going to be another kill going their way. 2 more heroes taken down by the side of Yolo Knight. They do get 1 in response, but I mean, it's only a Pangolier.
Yeah, and they give up Shikushi as well to Misery. So if he manages to find out low skill,
Radiant's middle tower
right now Mio's on the other side of the map, so Slark shouldn't be too concerned. But then again, this Phantom Assassin has a BKB completed. They're prowling low skill.
Yeah, this is going to be filming once again. This dragon cannot stay alive. Meanwhile, Slug goes for the D-Ward, doesn't have the Shadow Dance available, but with a punch in from Solar, they might be able to turn this around onto the PA, but they're scared. The Slug doesn't want to commit. There's a BKB available on the Phantom Assassin. They know this, and they do not want to try and put themselves into a bad situation, so they decide not to go for that fight. Very restraint there from KSK, I've got to say. Maybe too much restraint. I think you got to try and take the opportunities you get, regardless of what the outcome could be, but at the same time, that PA is still pretty damn scary, and there's still a Storm going to be iron cannoning across the map in a matter of instance.
Yeah, I think they saw Storm TPing, and so once, even if you do manage to kill the Phantom Assassin, you're not going to win the exit fight, and you're going to give up like another 3 Bloodstone charges to Mio, so they were like, it's not worth it. 10-second BKB is going to take way too long for us to burn through, so they give up on it, but yeah, I'm with you. The window is closing quickly for KSK to really do anything this game.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of upset if I'm that Slark. They actually dumped everything onto his illusion there in the middle lane. I think they genuinely believed it was the real one. And Slark's like, man, you guys really think I'm that weak? Come on, dude.
You think I'd stay that comically out of position?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He has an Orb of Destruction, which is pretty fantastic for a Slark, but I don't really know how many times he's actually been able to attack a hero with it. As their top tier 2 is getting pushed with this Dragon Scale, or PA had the Dragon Scale, now she's switched for Nikila. But regardless, tier 2 tower is getting pushed. They still have the Aegis for another minute and a half, so they may honestly try to go for high ground.
So, do you want to hear my idea for a tier 2 telescope for a neutral drop at 37 minutes?
Tier 2 telescope?
Hell yeah, yeah, a secondary telescope for a neutral item idea. You ready for this? It's going to blow your mind, right? Instead of just upgrading and reducing the cooldown on scan... Oh, hold the phone here. We've got the Storm being jumped on right now, but he does have that Aegis. Is going to lose it. Meanwhile, the rest of the heroes, Smiling Knight's coming in to back up his buddy, and they should be enough to scare him off. And actually, Misery sneaking in from the side here. They grab the Slug. Slug could be in some trouble here. Gonna have to pop the ultimate, try to TP himself away, and should be able to do exactly that. Are they finding anybody else? Meanwhile, the Pangolier, he's actually using on top of this Jakiro, being saved by the Tusk, but unfortunately, I think this might be it for the both of them here, as Solar now finds himself... Oh, beautiful shards, holding back so many of them, but they're still chasing him down to the low ground, and they will be able to get that kill. So down goes that Tusk, and that's going to be 2 more kills going their way. Luckily, the Slug manages to get out, but still, I mean...
Mio has the regen room.
Oh, looking for the Void. Void trying to play around here, but he's going to cut through him with the Astral. And actually, with the Silence up to the high ground, this could be a little bit dangerous for the Storm, but never mind. He's fine. Meanwhile, Zero, he's having trouble. I don't know. Maybe he's not fine after all. The punch is up, the damage is there, but Mio gets himself away. Meanwhile, Coffee having to play around, but Zero's already been taken out by this Phantom Assassin. Now, Phantom Assassin looking forward to more heroes. Meanwhile, the Fear comes out onto the Void. They get him down as well. Smiling Knights are running through, cutting through everyone right now. He is on a roll. And it doesn't really seem like there's much KS can do. I mean, they jump in and kind of get so close to killing the Storm, don't get it, and then what? You know, you can't extend. They don't have the methods of getting out. And they've got such heavy chase on the side of Yolo Knight as well that just no one is surviving these fights when it goes wrong for them.
And I'm impressed by the restraint also. Both the PA and the Storm Spirit both have BKBs, and you can see that they don't really need to pop them, as neither of them have used them in that entire fight. They're still on 10 seconds. And so it's impressive that they recognize that they would need it, but like oftentimes players will be like, oh, I mean, like I can get it one more major item afterwards. As Mio, I would not have been surprised if he gets for like, I don't know. I guess for Mio the early BKB makes sense, but for the Phantom Assassin, I'm a little bit surprised that she didn't just complete out the full Abyssal before getting the BKB. But they play it close and they are rewarded. And now Bloodstones are up to 22 on Mio.
Yeah, he's got a lot of first souls inside that little stone of his. Doing very well for himself. No, the whole item seems a bit strange to me. Like the concept of the Bloodstone, right? Like, what do you just like murder someone and then like stick the stone in them for a bit? It's like sucks up their blood, and you're like, yep, there we go. This makes me more powerful, man.
Bloodstone's bright ruby color is unmistakable on the battlefield, as the owner seems to have infinite vitality and spirit. Oh yeah, so it doesn't actually go into the dark side of it.
No, it doesn't really explain why it absorbs, I assume, blood. But yeah, it's a lovely color. Put
I miss
that on a necklace.
Whenever you would die with the Bloodstone, and it would leave that little puddle where it would give vision.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cute. Yeah,
man,
what happened to the puddle?
Yeah, well, it doesn't do anything whenever you die now. It used to like have all these strange perks whenever you died.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, it's a good enough item as it is.
Wait a minute. Yeah. I loved old Bloodstone. It was so fun. Reducing your death cooldown and giving you XP when you die and giving you vision where you died and healing your team when you died, and you could pocket suicide and heal your team. Oh man, that item's been through so many changes. It's actually so boring now.
Smiling Knight runs into Copy. It's half of his HP off the bat.
Yeah, gotta be careful. Don't mess with the PA. I'd love to say that this Ags with the double resonant pulse in order to get some extra physical resistance up is helping him, but against this PA it's doing absolutely nothing, and they just completely butcher the slug on the sidelines here. Meanwhile, in comes the Pangolier rolling around, but Zero is doing the damage to Misery. They might be able to get at least one kill. No, they will not. Masterus gets off the fear in time and then drops a big old ice ball on top of Zero's head, and they are just getting absolutely mullered. It doesn't look like there's any chance for KS to really take any more fights in this game. I think we might be heading towards the ending of this one, Tsunami.
Sick for stuff. These guys are playing Master Risk and Misery, just the dynamic duo you would have never guessed that Misery's standing in. And I guess it kind of looks pretty easy when you're 19k net worth up though, so yeah, I don't really think that KSK can do anything. Again, this is kind of what we were expecting. The drafts were probably KSK favored, but you know, Yolo Knight are just a more accomplished team, and this is definitely proof positive of that, as after the laning phase, or even during the laning phase, I think Yolo Knight have just proven to be the superior of the two teams.
I think so, and I think they should probably bat out this Pangolier next game as well. I mean, every hero on this team looks strong, but you know, when you got a Pangolier spammer, you might as well just take his comfort heroes away. And it's not like Pangolier's a bad ban right now anyways. But they'll take the two lanes of barracks. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't remember who they were targeting in the ban phase. Misery does finally get found out.
Poor Tusk, he didn't deserve that. He was like, alright guys, we can still do this. Oh no, I'm getting mullered again. Slark looking to be heading the same way. Does get off the Shadow Dance just in time. Copy playing around a little bit, but the BKBs are up and they're going straight the way back in again. They'll be able to get down Flimley and the dagger connect onto the Slug. Smiling Knight not going to go up to the high ground at least. So it's going to get silenced up though, but 5-up's in here as well. The select crit comes out onto the Slug. Forcing him to Shadowblade almost immediately. Copy trying to make it back into his fountain. They will jump the Storm Spirit right now, but look at the damage coming through onto the Void Spirit. He is gone. Meanwhile, on the sidelines here, Zero dares to spawn, and that just feels like even that they can't do right now. They're going to try and jump, throw everything they've got onto the PA, but the 4-staff, the Glimmer Cape, everything being used. PA's actually jumping back in onto this one and takes down the poor old Tusk once again. Copy going to go the same way. I mean, it's everyone. Blood litters the floor, soaking the grass of the Radiant base. Corpses everywhere. The stench of death is unmistakable as you walk past this ancient, and now it shall explode, leading Yolo Knight to their first bloody victory here in game number 1.